So today we're going to be doing kind of a year-end wrap-up or wrist enthusiast awards where we go into our favorite watches in basically every category. And then we will kind of top that off with making a 3-watch collection between the 3 of us. So once someone picks something, the other person has to pick something that kind of fits in a 3-watch collection from the releases that we talked about from 2024. So stay tuned for that at the end. It'll kind of be like a interesting collection of our favorite watches. But first, let's talk about what's on our wrists.
I can go first. I just made a video about this, so I'll do it. I'm wearing the Tudor FXD GMT for the French Naval Aviation Unit.
Yes.
Sorry, it took me hard
It's
to
not
say,
the
but I was
French
making a video.
Nationale or something?
I think that's the same thing.
It's the French Marine Nationale, but it's the aviation unit within the French Marine Nationale, which is the French Navy.
Which makes sense as a GMT.
Yeah. It took me a while to get this. Craig was just saying, like, I got this before you. And I was
I
what
probably took a little
happened?
bit too long
I
with
bet
it.
this. So I have the FXD U.S. Navy, which is a very similar color scheme.
But
It's
not a GMT, though. This
not
is
a
the first
GMT.
GMT.
This is the first GMT in
with the
FXD.
FXD.
Yeah. I like this. It's a different strap as well. The FXD has that Velcro, which I love. This one doesn't. But I love the color scheme, and I love the GMT part of it. And it's very thin. Thinner than I thought it was going to be.
It would look good on some sort of Delugs strap, right?
It would look good on a Deluxe strap.
That's
yes.
fixed lugs, right?
This is fixed lug. So actually, I asked Ken if they had one for my FXD, and he said they don't have something for fixed lugs yet.
Okay.
But they're working.
I think
maybe.
I saw
But
that they
they're
were working on it. Yeah.
Yeah. But this was months ago when I asked him, so they might have it now.
Yeah.
But it would look sick. And it comes with this little, like, removable part, that red part.
Oh, that's
You
removable?
can see. So it is removable.
But isn't that the
Are you
keeper?
supposed to remove it? I don't know. It is the keeper, but there's also another metal keeper.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't really need it. And you can remove it because I did it, but I just don't know if you're supposed to. But if you didn't want that, you don't have to have it.
Being a watch photographer is part of what I do. I love that watch because it's so easy to photograph because it's like completely photographized. It's completely brushed and like has a matte dial.
All right, let me see that. I've actually never seen it yet.
Eric's like pointing across.
Yeah.
The other thing is, that's kind of stay. The crystal is also.
Hold this for a second.
Yeah.
like-
The dial is also so close to the crystal, which I
yeah.
also think probably helps with photographizing too.
Photographer.
And then on the back of the watch, it has MN24 inscribed, which is Marine Nationale 2024, which is what they used to do on like old Tudor divers when they had a partnership with the Marine Nationale. They would engrave like the unit, I think, and then the year. So they have all those different.
It's 42, right?
It's 42.
Yeah.
Do they all FXDs are 42?
Mine's 42. So that
Do
would
they
make
make?
sense.
They should really do like a 39.
Well, they did a
FXD.
Pelagos 39. That's the closest.
Yeah,
we
but
have.
like an FXD 39 would be.
Yeah, I guess the reason why they keep it 42 is it's really meant to be
Like one's like a biking chronograph. They have one.
yeah,
right?
that one I'm pretty sure is 42. We're gonna talk
Yeah.
about that today, actually.
Oh, ooh.
It's secret.
Well, it's good for legibility if the dial is bigger and
Yeah.
you're going to use it for the actual functions.
I love something about the fixed lugs that I love in the way that the strap.
I think it photographs well too because there's layers of AR coating on it.
Yeah.
So it like reduces a lot of the reflection. Because when I'm looking at it, it's very matte. It's very easy to photograph. Like I barely can see my own reflection in it.
And this is what we think about when we look at watches.
Exactly.
How
No,
easy
seriously,
is
yeah.
is this to
That actually
photograph?
like shapes why I buy certain watches. Because like I'm like, man, this doesn't photograph well. Like how am I going to show people I like this
How's
watch?
everybody gonna know that I spent thousands of dollars on this? It's
Yeah.
not a good photograph. But yeah, it's also, in my opinion, one more thing, the most, even though most of the FXDs are like for the Marine Nationale, this is the most military Army Marine.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I'll go next, I guess. I'm wearing the Gerard Perregaux Casquette 2.0 titanium and gold. So I reviewed this. I am kind of like a space nerd, and this is just like this retro futuristic watch. They originally made it in the 1970s, and they didn't sell a ton of them. I think they sold them for like 2 years, and I was able to get a hands-on with one of the old ones while I had my hands-on with one of these, so I was reviewing them side by side. And they released originally a version in ceramic, which was the first kind of re-release, and then they did one with Saint Laurent, and I think this is the last one that they're doing. I think it's done now.
So it's like a recreation.
It's a recreation. It's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit more like faceted.
Can I see it?
Yeah. And yeah, obviously it has the digital display. It has a chronograph in it. You can also set it. You can also set it so that a date and time appears at, or a date appears at like a certain time every day. So if you have like a wedding anniversary or something that you want to be reminded of every day, it's called like a special, like a hidden date or something.
Did you put your wedding anniversary on it?
No, I haven't. I don't really know how to work the watch, every part of the watch. So
shout out to your wife if she's watching this. Like, he didn't put
I hope
that.
not.
Now that you mention it, I'm upset.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's titanium, and I like the way it's interesting how they did the rubber on the backside.
Yeah.
And so like the way there's like spring bars in them, so like you can easily like take out the links.
Why do you think they put the rubber on the back? Is that for not catching the hair on your arm?
I think it's for both comfortability, comfortableness.
Yeah.
Comfortability. Yeah. But also the way that you remove the links they're like spring bars. The rubber is the links are not attached to each other. The rubber is just one piece of rubber with like, or they're not one piece of rubber, but the way that they're attached,
It's like you take out a spring bar.
you take out a spring bar, and you take out the piece
interesting.
of rubber with it's very interesting. So it's cool. I like it.
Did you wear this to Interstellar?
No, I went to see Interstellar in 70 millimeter IMAX. I saw it, I think, 5 times in IMAX when it first came out.
Wow.
And
You're a fanatic.
yeah, I am a fanatic. So I wore my
Murph.
Murph 38,
course, yeah.
obviously. Yeah. I took some like video and photos and stuff. But
during the movie, you just see a shine of light and you see someone just doing this.
Yeah. No, I didn't actually like with my watch. I just like took photos of the screen.
Yeah.
When I was actually in the movie. So yeah, I wore the Murph there because I felt like that was the most appropriate.
So
and also because I want to shout out to Delugs. I brought one of the watches that I'm going to be talking about, and it's in this like very cool Delugs single watch case. I think this is like one of the nicest like single watch cases that I've ever seen. So I brought the
flimsy.
It's not flimsy. I like that it's like very hard, right? It's very hard. So like if you put this in your bag, it's not gonna like get busted up.
I like that there's no zippers to snag on.
It's just like it's like very well done, and I have my colloquium in here because this is a new release of this year, and I think I'm going to be talking about it a little bit. So shout out to Delugs for these really good cases. I know we've talked a lot about their straps and stuff, but they make really good accessories too, and they're our sponsor.
Yeah, you sent us that 4 case, and you were like, you had a bunch, and I was I'll take it. I love it.
Nice, yeah.
It's like...
Yeah, like I have a 6 or 8 case.
I have the 16. I have the 16, and I have a 3.
Oh.
And I just dropped some straps.
And a tray.
Derek was like, I brought all the straps today.
No, actually, this leads me to my, I'm just going to segue here real smoothly. But basically, I'm wearing a new watch.
Oh, is this the new one that you talked about?
Yeah, I'm wearing a new watch. And while we were setting up, I was like making sure to hide my sleeve the whole time. So you wouldn't,
I didn't even think about it.
You wouldn't even peep it. And I have several different Delugs straps.
And we're going to choose? Or
and
what?
you're going to choose one that I'm going to put on while we're talking.
Oh, nice.
So,
and
the
a nice
watch,
Deluxe tray, valet tray.
you guys were right. It was the IWC Mark 15.
So it's back from service.
It's back from service, which was
Wow.
much faster than I anticipated. Guys, I'm really sorry about my voice. It's so shot. But basically, I bought this on eBay because this watch came out, the whole collection came out 25 years ago in 1999. And I've been wanting like a plain everyday watch with the date. Even though I always talk about, I don't really care about the date. No, I actually just want a good watch with the date. There were many other watches I considered. Obviously, I was like thinking about the Rolex Explorer, the new Omega Aquaterra 38 millimeter lacquer black, which may come up today in the episode. And then several other IWC Pilot watches, Mark series. But why I chose this one is, long story short, the 38 millimeter size. I love the size on it. It's so good. It's also the handset. So if you notice the hour hand looks like a paddle. It's like an hour, like a rectangle. So all the newer Mark series, like from Mark 16 onwards, had the Flieger handset, which is like that kind of leaf. And I don't know why, but I realized that I like handsets that are kind of square, like baton shaped or rectangular shaped. I'm not super crazy about like big and then small hour hands because I find it kind of hard to read time fast. This one, like legibility is so easy because the width of the hour marker like points so clearly to which hour it is. And so the little history about this watch is not the first watch designed for the RAF, the Royal Air Force, but it's still what people call the last of the true Mark series because there was the Mark 11, the Mark 12, and after the Mark 12, they skipped 13 and 14, and they came to the Mark 15. Side note, they skipped Mark 13 because 13 is a bad number.
Right.
And then number 14, I made this up, but I think they skipped 14 because 14 is also really bad in Chinese culture. So I told you guys number 4 sounds like the word death. Well, if you put a 1 before 4, it's pronounced 死是, which sounds like the word definitely dead. It sounds like even worse, dead. So I think that's why they skipped 14 because, you know, if they're going to market it to people to buy, they don't want to alienate a whole population of people. So Mark 15.
I noticed 2 things about that watch. The first thing was the clasp is full perlage on the inside.
Yeah.
Like that was
Crazy.
I've never seen that before. I don't
Yeah.
think. That's so cool.
Yeah.
The other thing is the size on that. Normally when I've tried on like the Mark, what was the new
20s.
20?
Yeah.
They just wear bigger.
Yeah, they do.
And it does not wear, and I'm like, Craig saw me wearing it. I'm like, this is nice. Wow.
Yeah. You also notice that the bracelet, the center links are slightly raised, which is such a cool detail they were doing 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And to me, it just blows my mind that this is a 25-year-old
like
watch.
It,
It literally looks like the modern version, but just with some differences.
It's great condition.
How much did that cost?
So you can find them like, they used to go for less, but now you can find them on the low end 3,000, and on the high end you can find them like 5,500 to 6,000, like a modern Mark 20 price. But I got mine for around 3,000, and then obviously mine was not running, and I had to send it to service, so it did get a little bit more polished. So I'm not crazy about like it has to be unpolished, this and that. Like I'm not at that level yet. Maybe some people are, but so I didn't really care because I just wanted it running. Because when I got it, it was not running at all, and that kind of sucked.
Could I ask you how long the service took?
So they said like 4 to 6 weeks, and it was only about 2.5 weeks.
Nice.
So it's much faster.
Yeah.
And so that's my last point. I think it was faster because this is when IWC switched over from a JLC caliber to an ETA-based IWC caliber. And I think that's actually an advantage for this watch because an ETA-based movement is just easier to service. Yeah. There's more parts, more people know how to do it, so it's a faster turnaround. I think if it was the JLC movement from the Mark 12, it might have taken longer because you might have to, recreate certain parts for that movement that's not being used anymore.
So let's decide what strap we're going to put on it.
So I have several straps. Ignore the metal bracelet. That's not Delugs, but...
I mean, I already think I know which one I'm going to put on this. I just think as like kind of like a field watch, go with this like kind of tan
cream
color.
Yeah, that one's cool.
So can I open it up?
What are the
Yeah, you can open it.
colors?
Here, you can choose from the
This
other
is
one.
a mini collection of Deluxe straps I have.
Is that a Delugs
nice.
like opener too?
No, this is this is not. This is just
They have them though.
they do.
This is cool. Oops, I'm throwing their straps
Here,
around.
let me take off the. I'm gonna use the Deluxe
Doing
tray right
some,
now.
surgery right now. Watch surgery.
Performing
Yeah.
surgery on a grape.
Luckily,
Yes, this is the one I.
These are all 19 millimeter?
Yep.
You have a lot of 19 millimeter.
yeah, I do, and I have a lot of night because like
Well, Grand Seiko too, I guess.
my Grand Seiko, my Omega, my JLC, my Seiko, they all
is-
are 19.
This is what I choose, guys.
10.
Now we're gonna make
10's gonna look sick.
Derek do B-roll of all the straps that we pick.
B-roll.
Oh, it's
shit.
okay. I have B-roll of all of it already.
Are you doing a review of this?
I'm considering it. Maybe next year though, because there's just too much stuff to talk
Yeah.
about right now for end of the year.
Yeah.
This would be like an early 2025 thing. If you want to hear me talk more about the Mark 15, comment below, and I'll do a separate video for that.
All right.
We'll just do a break in like one of our podcasts where Derek just does a review in the middle of it.
I'll just review for like,
I like
15
this.
minutes straight.
Let me see. Oh, that's nice too.
Gray.
Gray, yeah.
I'm surprised no one chose the green. I thought that was gonna be.
I
Like
was going to, but I think
I was gonna choose like
looks
the what is it the like the marbled. There's like a marbled leather one too. I was gonna maybe choose that one. Right?
this is the only other leathered one. Unless it's a screen one
No, maybe
that you maybe
it's
thought
the
was
green one.
gray through the film.
No, like there's like the marbled. I said, like or like this like Saffiano kind of pattern. That's what I meant.
All right.
These are both.
And between those two straps, I'm
I'm
gonna
just saying
choose the
pattern.
one.
Oh, okay. You're saying that one. Yeah. I thought you were saying the color was gray.
No. Marbled like pattern.
I
Okay.
kind of want. That's
Okay, so
nice.
you're gonna audience
I'm
or
gonna copy you.
viewers.
You want the watch?
Obviously, the people that are listening won't be able to comment on this. They'll have to go to the YouTube video. You have
I
to
chose
look
this
at it.
one.
Does it look better on the strap that I chose or the strap that Ben chose?
Well, I'm gonna go with this one because I always wear a gray strap.
Okay,
So I want to break it
but
up.
put the B-roll of the other strap too.
I will.
And so, is Ben's on this gray strap, or is my choice on this tan strap better?
Let me see. Can you point towards me? I want to see. That looks nice.
Yeah, it looks nice, right? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is.
Thank you,
so
guys.
I
Thank
think
you,
we should get
gentlemen.
into it.
Let's go. Let's go.
So okay, so we are going to kind of like we did with the under 1,000 episode. We are going to go through all these different categories and pick our favorite watches in each of them. So
Oh my God.
yeah, I came prepared.
Wow. You can't
Grandpa Craig came out with
Yeah.
the
With
paper
the
again.
I'm
sheet
the
of
oldest
paper in
one because-
2024.
Yeah.
Look, I was like best man at a wedding, and I brought out a piece of paper, and now
You need
everyone
that.
does it on the phone. I don't like that. Our Gen Z, is that what you are? Gen X?
I'm a zillennial, as they call it. I'm between
Are-
Gen Z and
What
millennial.
year were
you're
you born?
really- you're my-
97.
So you're a Gen Z. I watched a video last night. It said Gen Z is
But I'm right on the
1997.
border. But that's what I'm saying. So that's why people say zillennial, because like I have
So we're both
millennial
millennials.
qualities.
Millennial.
I'm on the older end of millennial, but I think millennials like what? 1980?
I don't know if it goes. I don't know.
I'm 85, and you're 90?
92.
92. So
Yeah.
okay. All right. So we're gonna do dress watch under 1,000, chronograph, diver, GMT, precious metal, complications, microbrand, independent, go anywhere, do anything, skeleton, integrated bracelet, and limited edition. Whew.
Wow. That's a lot of
Okay,
watches.
We gotta get started,
All
right?
right, let's go.
Should we start with dress watch?
Yeah. You don't have a dress watch?
No, I don't have a limited edition. I
Oh.
can. Yeah, I have a dress watch, but you can.
I have 2 dress watches, so because I wrote
All
out
right.
all my answers and came
Yeah.
prepared. I'm like some people.
I'm going to just get into it.
Okay, dress watch, Derek.
My favorite dress watch of 2024, Cartier Santos Dumont Rewind. I'm putting that
yeah.
out there now. You've heard me talk about it plenty of times. Platinum case, that awesome red carnelian stone dial. The fact that time goes backwards, I mean, come on. It's like so simple, but such good execution. That's my choice. Best
hard
dress
to beat
watch.
that.
That's hard to beat. Yeah, I saw that at Watches and Wonders. That's such a nice watch. And it's like sad because time goes back. Time does not go backwards.
Yeah.
Except on this. So I really like the Berneron Mirage, the Sienna.
Yep.
It has that asymmetrical case. The movement's asymmetrical. The movement's actually, I think I've talked about this before, is asymmetrical. And the case, not because they wanted to make an asymmetrical watch, but they wanted to make a watch that had more power reserve and had like a smaller kind of diameter. And the best way to do that was to add a bigger barrel, which made it kind of like asymmetrical. It's really cool.
And that makes Derek like him more, because Derek, you have to have the movement. It has to fit the
Yes,
case
I do.
shape too.
That's so
You-
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point.
They just released the 34 stone dials too, which are nice. I like the kind of original, the Sienna, which is the rose gold, and then the white gold version is very nice too. So that's probably my choice. I have another one, but I will kind of.
I might be stealing your other one, or I know I'm stealing this watch.
I know
off
which
your
one
list.
this one is.
I'm going with
Probably
I don't know, the JLC Reversal Tribute Chronograph in the pink gold or rose
Oh,
gold.
I
whatever
have that.
Wow.
it is.
I thought
think
it was
I
going to
have
be
that
the
for
mono
something
face.
else.
No, I didn't
Wow.
go with the mono face. I do
That's
love
like,
that watch.
That's like
but
my chronograph.
Yeah, I was going to
one of
say
my
that might be
chronographs.
that could be
Yeah.
a skeleton or chronograph.
It could be
I'm surprised you
anything.
didn't do
Dress watch. It could be limited edition. It could be anything.
I'm surprised you didn't do the new tribute, the smaller one.
The smaller one.
That's what I was
I
talking
thought about
about.
doing that, but there's something about that. Like, that's a great watch, but I've never the rose gold one. I've never had that watch in person with a really cool dial on the basic side. I've never had a dress watch where I'm like, this is unbelievable in person. So I have to put that on my list. It's limited to like $250 or something like that.
Yeah, I love that watch. I saw it in person, and I love the Tribute Chronograph. For me, I would put it more under the Chronograph, just because I think for me it's a little bit too big for me to be like a dress watch.
Yeah, you can still choose it for that. Yeah.
No, you can still choose it for that. I just think on my wrist,
Fair.
it's on the bigger side. I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist, so it's a little bit big for me to be a dress watch.
Same.
The other one that I really liked was a recent release. It's the let me get the name correct. The Serica 1174 Parade. Have you seen that?
I think I saw it. It's all silver on silver.
It's like this oval kind of.
The new one just came out.
The new one that just came
I saw
out.
it in person. Really cool.
It's cool. It's
really
different.
cool.
It's so different. And like, I didn't think you don't think of Serica when you think of dress watch.
No.
So it's interesting that they're doing something. Have you seen it?
No. You have a photo?
Let's see if we can get a photo.
I'm trying to recall from memory. Yeah.
The dials are like very interesting.
Oh, whoa. Okay,
really cool.
I was thinking about a totally
They
different
did
watch.
2 of them. The dials are really like have this kind of like not guilloche, but it's like sunburst,
cool, like,
radiating,
wave pattern
waving
going down it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They also told me that they wanted to call it
That was cool.
the sports watch. It's because it is a sports watch. It has the water resistance, but it's also kind of like a dress watch. So it's kind of just like oxymoron.
Yeah. So
Really cool case on that watch.
The
too.
Yeah.
case is very different while not being like kind of too out there,
Right.
right? So that's the other choice that I would have. Okay, what's next?
No, first,
Okay.
I think it's cool that we all chose dress watches with like non-traditional round cases,
Yeah.
right? Because like I did the Santos Dumont, you did the Burnaround Mirage, which is asymmetrical, and then you chose the JLC Reverso, which is rectangular.
Yeah.
And then back to
Yeah.
Serica is also oval. So I find that interesting that we didn't choose like a plain round
dress watch.
Not-
classic dress watch.
Circular watches are definitely having a moment. Asymmetrical watches are having
Yeah.
a very big moment, but
Definitely.
and you saw with obviously like the Cubitus and the some of these smaller brand like the Maine
Yeah.
Manhattan, those
Totally.
are popular. Benjamin James released the thing that looks like the Cubitus before the Cubitus came out,
Right.
at much less expensive price point. So yeah, square, rectangular, asymmetrical watches definitely oval are having a moment.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now
Yeah.
we move on.
Next.
Okay.
Well, for the record, I'm also just on my phone because I'm trying to make sure I have all my
He's
picks in a row.
Instagramming,
Yeah,
he's
I'm
texting,
I'm not texting.
These fucking Gen Z kids. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Oh,
Under 1,000 is next?
under 1,000.
Okay. I can go first.
Okay.
First, quick shout out to Ren for under 1,000. I feel like if I chose Ren, it would show my podcast bias, but I do think that Ren could easily win. I'm personally the Diver One Snow guy.
Okay.
A lot of people are the Aqua guy. I love the Snow. I think it's on pre-order right now.
Yeah, so we should be, they'll probably be shipping by the time this gets released.
Definitely will be.
So
Yeah.
this Tuesday is when I plan on shipping them out, which is like
Nice.
4 or 5 days from now. But
By the time you watch this episode, you should have it, basically.
you should have it, or
Yeah.
if you can order one and get it quickly.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. Sandwich dial. You don't see that at that price almost ever. But I'm going to pick the Studio Underdog Series 1 Gen 3 watermelon. So they've had this watch for a while, but this is the Gen 3. They developed their own in-house movement with Seagull. So it's exclusive to Studio Underdog. I think it's very cool. It's like $800 US or something like that, $750 US. It's one of the watches of the year. They sold so many of them. I find them so cool. I personally want one. Yeah. There were so many choices, especially under 1,000. There's like a billion choices you can choose. But I'm going to go with that because I haven't talked about that watch almost ever, which is crazy. Even though I talk about the brand all the time.
So, Derek,
Yeah.
which Seiko are you choosing?
No, I'm going to surprise you this time. I'm not going to mention a single Seiko. I don't even think this episode I'm going to mention maybe a Grand Seiko, but not Seiko. So under 1,000, I'm going to cheat a little bit. This is just above 1,000, but
You're
Come on.
You're pulling a Ben.
I'm pulling a Ben, but
You are pulling me.
I think it's for good reason. So Hamilton came out with this cool limited edition 36 millimeter, and it was with this other company called Engineer Garments. And when I first saw the photo of it, that's kind of another watch that kind of was like in the same realm of like time only, time and date military style kind of explorer watch. I think that watch is cool. You know, it's 11. I think it's like 1,145. So, you know, excuse me, it's just above. But 36 millimeter case, black dial. I think it's raised indices. Titanium as well. That's why it's over 1,000. I think if it was in steel, it would be like 945 or something like that.
First titanium watch from Hamilton, is that right?
I don't know if it's first. They definitely have titanium.
Maybe field watch. I don't know. I don't remember
Maybe
a field watch being titanium.
I don't know. I don't know about field. I think they had before.
Oh, okay.
I'm not the biggest Hamilton, like up to date with Hamilton, but when I saw that, that was definitely my favorite. And let me see if there's anything else I have to mention. No, I think that's about it. But I just liked it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, that's a cool watch. Like, that's something I would buy. So that's my favorite.
So I was going to say Ren, but then Ben kind of gave me a shout out. So I'm going to pick something else that literally just came out. The Brew Supermetric.
Yeah.
Which, for me, you know, I just find it kind of amazing how Jonathan and Brew keeps on coming out with like new variations of the metric that keep it fresh without kind of oversaturating.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like
bunch
the
of different colors.
sub-dials
This is
are like rectangular. You know, I don't know if it's more retro or more modern.
Other color.
Whoa, I like that one.
But there's multiple different versions. It's still very. When it first said Supermetric, I was like, oh, is this like a mechanical? But it's still the same Mecha Quartz movement.
This is, I think, my favorite. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that one's really cool. Yeah.
I saw him the day it came out. He said the electric blue is the most popular.
Okay, let me see the electric blue.
It's the first one. Yeah. This is the most popular.
So I just think what they're
nice.
doing, and this is well under 1,000. It's under 500. Yeah. What's it for now?
Wow.
475.
This is like kind of like a Michigan.
Yeah. What's the
475.
475.
Yep.
So this came out I think a week ago.
No, it came out on
A few days
Tuesday
ago.
night. Tuesday, because I saw him Tuesday night. Yeah.
3 days ago. 3 days ago. So yeah, that was a really recent release, and I think that Brew hit it out of the park with that one. So
especially updating they hadn't updated like the dial format of that watch.
Yeah.
They've only did like materials, movements, but really cool.
yeah, so that's a good one. So okay, next we have Chronograph.
I just
I
love
have
your piece of
3.
paper. I have a few on Chronograph too.
I'm gonna go first this time.
Yeah, go for it. I do have a
And then
few.
you can go second, then. Or I'm Derek.
I only chose one. I'm not
Okay.
breaking the rules.
So my number one is the Zenith Chronomaster Original Triple Calendar.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a really great
That
piece.
is
That was a January release.
so it was really like just
Yeah.
well, yeah.
No, it's still 2004. It's just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I forgot that was this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
I just think it's such a good watch, and it plays on their history because I think it only came out as a prototype originally.
Yeah.
And then they used that movement in some other watches, I think, but not in like the exact format that the Chronomaster was. And with the moon phase, and it has the day and date as well.
Full calendar,
Full calendar,
triple
yeah.
calendar moon phase.
It's
Yeah.
very thin. From what I thought.
So yeah, very thin. I mean, like I like the Chronomaster in general, but I think I like this more. And then Hodinkee came out with the Meteorite version with the Meteorite subdials, right?
Yeah. that's
Yes.
correct.
Yes, which is very nice as well.
That
So-
was incredible watch.
So shout out to Zenith for
Yeah.
one of my favorite chronographs.
It's a great choice. I feel like I've spoken about this. It's probably going to be one or the other, but I'm going to mention Omega's 2 chronographs. Actually, they made a 3rd chronograph just like a week ago.
Yeah.
So Omega's launched a lot of stuff, but obviously I've been talking so much about the White Dial Speedmaster. Technically, it was leaked last year, but it officially launched in 2024. It's the White Dial Speedmaster Moonwatch. I've already said so much about it, so I don't really want to take too long to talk about it again.
It's a lacquer dial, right?
It's a white lacquer dial
lacquer,
instead of ceramic dial like the divers, but it still has that same 3D effect because it's so high contrast, and I just love that on that watch.
Yeah.
The other one I have, I'm just gonna throw them in now. It's also Omega. It's the first Omega in space. If I had to choose between the two, I would still go for the White Dial Speedmaster, just because I personally have a first Omega in space already, so I would rather get the Moonwatch. But that one, there's so much history to that watch. The blue Soleil dial is really cool because that's something that's quite rare to find. And if you want to buy a Soleil dial Speedmaster, they can go for $40K.
Wow.
So the fact that Omega took something that was rare and put it into like a modern production watch, so more people can enjoy it. I think that's a good thing for the watch.
Definitely.
And
Do you think that the white dial, you know, that how we're going to be having future moon missions?
yeah,
Do you think they'll try and get an astronaut to wear the white dial variation?
I don't think so, because remember, it's sapphire. They're gonna wear the Hesalite.
Well, can't they just like?
I'm sure they can.
Probably make a prototype or something.
Yeah. And
Well,
then
no,
sell
I
it.
mean, you can wear sapphire in space. I mean, the IWC pilot, Lake Tahoe, was spinning around in 0 G, and that's definitely
Well, what's it
ceramic
called?
and
The
sapphire.
Jacob and Co.
Yeah.
Astronomia.
Yeah.
Sorry, Astronomia was in space too.
Yeah, so
Well, the barrel hand will be in space.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything.
Shout out to Barrelhand, but it hasn't really been released yet, so we can't
Not
include
yet.
it.
Yeah.
and then the last one, it's another Omega. It's the new Speedmaster Pilot, which a lot of people talk as the Flight Master. But when I looked at it, it looks like a mashup of different watches. It looks like the Flight Master. It actually looks like the Speedmaster Mark 40, which the same like pilot little seconds hand and like the fun colors. And it uses the modern case of the Speedmaster 57. So that one, the story of that one was earlier this year. I think it was Watches of Espionage posted this like I forgot exactly. It was like the
Someone
Air
was
Force.
wearing
It was
it?
an Air Force watch, a watch only made for the Air Force or something. And so it leaked, and everyone was talking about like, how can I buy one? And then now, just like literally a week ago, Omega fully announced it, but it is in a different colorway than the one that they give for the Air Force.
Right.
But now it's like the civilian model version, and like it's cool too.
Yeah. Have you seen that watch in person yet? It just
Not
came out,
yet.
so I wasn't sure if you saw
That's
it.
that's the only one I haven't seen. But because I know I read the specs, and it's like the Speedmaster 57, which we have, I kind of get an idea of how it will wear.
Yeah.
So
I'm just curious if you saw it because it literally was like 3 days ago. or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like that,
just within this week.
You want to go, Chronograph?
No, I already
He-
went.
he
for
did.
it.
Oh, you went? Okay.
Yeah.
I will go with the Pelagos FXD Cycling. We were mentioning
a
it
good
before.
That's a cool piece.
It's a great watch. I won't go too much into it, but I didn't really know. I knew about the watch, but didn't really know about it. And then I was in a Tudor boutique going to see the Tudor Blue chronograph that they came out with. And I saw that, and I had no idea how much I would actually like that, and I loved it. There's not really much else to it other than
How much is it? It's like 5.
it's like
Under 5, right?
I think it's
4,950 or
under
something?
5. Yeah,
I think I included it in like an under $10,000 chronograph guide. I just
Okay.
did, so
Is that the ceramic case?
It's ceramic and titanium. Like
That's
different
cool.
parts are different. And then I love the white dial Speedy, but that's for something else later.
I had also on my list the Omega Speedmaster white dial and first make in space, but then I also had the Breguet Type 20 XX 2067, the gold
Yeah.
one that I reviewed, which I really first time that Breguet has used a ceramic bezel on a watch
That's
ever,
nice.
which is kind of crazy. And it's just I think the blue dial is really nice and rose gold.
I'm gonna throw one more chronograph in.
Okay.
Go for it.
I was gonna save this for a limited edition, but I think it's more suited here. Hold on. The Blancpain Air Command 36 with the green and like gold cream indices.
Nice.
I think I've always liked the Air Command, especially the 36, even though it's like a really small watch. It's a flyback chronograph, and you have the bezel that you can time as a countdown bezel. So I find it really cool because you can time 2 different events with 2 different ways. And the watch just looks really nice on the wrist. Both sizes, 42.5 or 36. I still go for the 36, even though it's a really small watch. In-house Blancpain movement. Yeah, I think that's a cool one.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, let's do dive watches, and Ben, you should start off this one.
All right, I feel like I'm going back to back Tudor right now, but I am going to do it because I feel like this is Tudor. I'm going to go with the Black
And you wear
Bay
your
Monogram.
Tudor hat.
I didn't wear my Tudor hat, but I am wearing one. It's like too much. But this is the last Tudor I'll mention, but it's the Black Bay Monochrome. It's black on black on the Jubilee bracelet, but it's called 5-link, but it's Jubilee. It's awesome. It's a watch that I haven't really spoken a lot about because not that it's boring, it's just very basic and plain, but I feel like that's so good for so many people. I just have so many of that watch, so like I haven't really spoke about it too much.
Yeah.
I think of a lot of people the same way, but at $5,000, like it's one of probably the best dive watcher outside that or Omega.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I have a brand because they did a bunch of dive watches this year. This was the year of the dive watch for them. So both the Oris Aquas and the Diver's Date.
Nice.
So I just think they kind of, improved upon both of those designs. They kind of streamlined the design on the Aquas, which is their like kind of more heavy duty.
Right.
And I like, they have the 40, I think it's 40 millimeters is the mid-size, which is really nice. And I think can compete in that price with really any diver. And then the Diver's Date, if you want something
Diver's Date,
more vintage. And they upped the water resistance from 100 to 200, which I think is really important, obviously, for a diver, especially a watch with diver in the name. So I think that they're both great watches, and I think that Oris, obviously they had divers on their mind this year, and they did a really good job with both of them. So those are my two picks, and they're both around $3,000 or under $3,000.
Nice. I'm gonna go higher end diver, but this was a little hard for me.
The gold Tudor. The all gold Tudor black.
Oh, the green, with the green. Was that this year? The green bracelet?
Yeah, it was at Watches and Wonders. Yeah.
On Bracelet was this year. Yeah.
That was a cool watch.
It was very cool to see Tudor do that, but I don't think that's your choice.
I feel like every year Tudor does so good with dive watch and watches in this field. Totally. Ben already mentioned the monochrome, so I won't go to another Tudor, but I do think Tudor always does a great job. The one that really kind of stuck in my mind actually was the Blancpain 50 Fathoms 42 millimeter. And the reason I say that is because for years, everyone's been wanting a smaller 50 Fathoms. They're always like 44 or 46 millimeter. So now it comes to 42. Yes, it's still a 42, but it does wear a lot better. And it comes in either blue, black, or you have like rose gold options. That's a watch. Now it has a stop second, which is sounds really simple, but a lot of Blancpain movements don't have stop seconds. You can pull out the crown. 120. Hacking, hacking. Over 100-hour power reserve. I mean, it's like everything in the original, diver specification for the 50 Fathoms, but now in a smaller package. And hopefully that will move us to a 40 millimeter, but non-limited edition, because they always do limited editions in 40 millimeter, like the best size for some reason. I will say honorable mention for me would be the Omega Diver 300 with the, what's it called? The black with no date, the one Daniel Craig was wearing during the Olympics.
Was Summer Blue this year, or was that last
year?
It all kind of blends in.
It does. It's so hard, yeah.
I'll just leave the Omega as an honorable mention. For me, it's more like a different colorway, more than like a new release. You know, it's like just a different one that they could have came out with already. But yeah, that's mine.
What's your favorite diver? Put your favorites of every category that we talk in the comments.
I will mention Ren Diver.
Ren Diver
for sure, yeah.
And so with Ren, we have some stuff coming out soon. So we have the Sand Dial, which I've shown before, which we're still kind of tweaking, but should be ready in the next month. And then hopefully next month, we're going to be releasing our new collection, which is another diver. And will be kind of like the premium diver, so stay tuned for that.
Premium. Wow.
It's gonna be a little bit more expensive, but
yeah,
it's when you see the guts of the watch, you're gonna understand why it's more expensive. And then we're working on something completely different, but that's a year away.
At the point, yeah.
Cool.
So, okay, next, GMT.
I got mine.
I know.
I had two, and they both were from Tudor. And one of them was on your wrist.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not choosing a Tudor, so.
Okay.
Oh, really?
No.
So I have two Tudors. One was on what is the French National, the FXD. Because I reviewed it recently and it was fresh on my mind, and I think it's really great. And then the other is the Coke, the Black Bay 58 GMT.
Dr. Pepper Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what yours is. Yeah.
It's also, did you read it?
No, I didn't. I didn't read it. I know what yours is. I'm just thinking about it now. But the Coke is great. Everyone thought that we're getting a Coke from Rolex this year, and then Tudor gave it to us, which I think they're kind of playing with us a little bit. But it's really nice, and I like that they did it in the 58, and it's COSC and Meta certified.
Master chronometer.
Master chronometer.
Yeah.
Master chronometer.
So even above both of those.
Oh.
Yeah.
So is this actually?
Yeah. Oh, well, Metas is master chronometer certification.
But they say both. It's like they say COSC and Metas.
They do say both.
Not
on the watch, but on the website.
On the website.
Okay.
I think because to be certified, like one may be like more stringent, but there's different criteria. So
okay.
you can,
exactly.
You can have it be COSC and then even further regulated. So I think they did a really good job with that.
I would second what you said. The Tudor Black Bay 58 GMT is a great watch. I do think it deserves best GMT of the year as well. But since you mentioned it, I will bring up my Longines Spirit Zulu
that the same
Time
one you were gonna
Titanium.
pick?
It's the same one I was.
Oh shit!
I knew it. I was like, who's gonna?
We can pick the same one.
Who's gonna pick it?
I thought you were gonna choose the one you're wearing. That's why.
No.
Well, he said no Tudor. When
No Tudor. No more Tudor on my list.
All right, so let's hear why you like it, because I already talk a lot about it.
It's one of the watches this year where I put it on and fell in love with it. Where like that happens a lot. You guys know where you like, fall in love immediately, but like it was so good and completely unexpected.
Yeah.
Which is why I appreciate it even more. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, and I really did love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the extent of it.
Yeah. Simple and easy. That's all.
Yeah.
I have 2 watches. They each have 1 combined. You know, who did the work
There's
here?
3.
Who
There's
did-
3.
Who did,
Hey,
the,
I
who
made
did
up.
the work here?
I was pulling my weight during chronograph. I like.
Well, the next one is precious metal. I have 2 actually. Oh,
Sorry.
trying to kill me.
Just
over
excited.
There. Wow.
Super
Okay,
excited,
you're so
man.
excited. Pick your precious metal.
Well, I want to make sure Ben's ready too.
I could just go last.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Precious metal. I was gonna put this in chronograph, but I do want to save this for precious metal. So maybe you can guess. But
The Jaeger.
no, that's a good choice though too.
Yeah.
That would have went there too. It's actually the Cartier Tortue Monopusher in yellow gold.
Yeah.
A lot of love for that watch. I love the design. I love how they updated the dial to be more like the original. And now the movement is a new movement that they developed. And the movement fills the whole case back shape of the Tortue, which is super nice.
This is the only
That's in
thing.
yellow gold. Only comes in precious metals, either yellow gold or platinum. I would choose a yellow gold version.
I think I'd choose a platinum. 'Cause
The
it has
platinum's great.
The blue on it, like right?
Yeah. Yeah, it has like but the yellow gold has a blue hands as well.
Oh, but doesn't the platinum have like the blue like on the dial?
I think it's like gray.
Is it
It's
gray?
like a gray tone. Yeah. But yeah,
That's a good choice. I have 2, so well then racks his mind and
I think
Google.
I have it, but I just want to make sure I'm
So-
not missing anything.
One is the Fleming Series 1.
Oh my god, that's
We
good
gotta
choice.
mention
Wow.
Fleming.
I was gonna mention Fleming too. I was gonna put them under independent actually.
They could be under independent, but the Series 1, they did the tantalum, they did the, I think, rose gold, and what was the third one? Platinum? So obviously the gold version. I just think the dials are really nice. Could be dress watch as well.
Yeah.
So I want to shout out to my friends at Fleming for a great release. I think they only made, 50 combined or 41 or something.
Wow.
And then the other one, which is kind of going the other way, is the Gerard Perregaux Tourbillon with 3 flying bridges.
That one's
Whoa.
crazy.
It's
Whoa.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
completely like a skeletonized dial. You can see all the way through. It's like very sporty, very kind of futuristic and modern. I think it's really interesting. I saw that one at Geneva Watch Days. And yeah, I like the 3 flying bridges because it's just unlike anything
Yeah.
else that there is out there. So they've done some cool stuff with that.
I definitely also wanted to. So Berneron Mirage was gonna go in this category for
Yeah.
me too, because I only do precious metal, and I think that watch is super cool.
That's a Grail watch for sure.
Yeah, you can't go wrong
You
with
can't
that.
get them.
Well, isn't it
apparently.
like 8 years or something like that?
Yeah,
to
it's
get them?
crazy.
Yeah.
I thought that they had a chance to win at GPHG the overall
Yeah.
prize.
I'm shocked. I thought they were going to win for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I will choose mine. So a watch I had spent some time with is the Tag Heuer Skipper in the rose gold.
Ooh.
Not a watch I thought I would like. It is expensive.
much
I
is
think
it?
for what it is, it's like 30 grand or something crazy. like
Damn.
that. But it's don't quote me on that. People
Quote
should
him on
Google
it.
Quote him. Yeah.
But I didn't expect to like it in rose gold. I thought I was just gonna like the steel one, and I was wrong. The rose gold's really cool. The way it goes off the blue is awesome. I would have picked the Berneron Mirage as well. To be honest, there really wasn't a better watch. And then the Cartier Tank Louis is always great. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually like the
gold.
Tank Louis Mini. I think it's a really cute watch.
Yeah.
It's so tiny.
so
That's a good gold watch.
literally mini.
Yeah. It's like the size of a penny.
Berneron Mirage is getting a lot of love today.
Yeah,
But-
it is.
But they deserve
Some
it.
say too much love. No, I'm kidding.
Okay. Complication.
I got mine.
I'm
Oh.
gonna start.
Okay.
All right, go.
IWC Portugueser Eternal Calendar.
That was the one I had
to
too.
choose.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
All right, unanimous.
Look, it won the
GPHG.
GPHG.
Yeah.
I saw that at
Watches and Wonders.
Watches and Wonders, and I saw it again at the boutique. It's just an amazing watch. It's great. I mean, there's nothing not to like about it.
Not even that one GPHG. It's just like the most. Was it the most complicated?
Yeah.
Wristwatch.
Calendar watch. It's like set to, I forgot how many years, but
Yeah, they say
500
like,
million or something.
like it can
That's
do like a
crazy.
moon phase for
That's
like
crazy.
1,000 years or something
Yeah.
like that. Something or it's crazy. I interviewed Christopher Granger, her.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it. It's insane.
Yep.
And how they did it by kind of like placing a module on the perpetual calendar, so they didn't even have to like create a whole new movement
Right.
from scratch. I have another one that I like,
Okay.
the MB&F HM11 Architect.
That one's
Just because it's
watch.
wild. It
It is
has
wild.
the rotating case where you can put. So it has a thermometer. It has the time. It has a
Whoa.
power reserve. It has a central, I think, flying tourbillon. And what is the fourth? They call it like house or door.
I don't remember.
room?
They were telling me while I was playing with it. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
yeah,
remember
and you
this.
can like. So if you want the power reserve facing you, you can spin it to face you. If you want the time facing you, you can spin it
That's
to face
crazy.
you. If you want, the temperature facing you.
Is that the one you look at this side?
Yeah,
And then you could just turn
Yeah,
it?
and you turn it, and then you turn. The way you wind the watch is by turning the
That's
case.
crazy. It's
The
crazy.
whole case. It's insane. Only MB&F creates crazy stuff like that,
Literally.
and so I thought, for complications, it had to, mention
Yeah.
MB&F.
Yeah.
The one I will mention that's different is Vacheron Constantin's, I don't even know what they call it, but it's basically a pocket watch that looks like the size of a hockey puck.
Oh, I
and they
saw
put
this.
like so many
Oh
complications in
yeah,
that.
it's bigger, way bigger than a hockey.
That's
Yeah.
the most complicated watch ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about complications, I think we definitely should mention them because that's like the most complications that's ever put into one timing device, we'll call it, because it's not really a wristwatch.
Yeah, it's
a
a
watch.
pocket watch. Yeah, they had that one on display spinning
Yeah.
in their booth. And also, I think another watch to mention is the Longa Lumen
Lumen,
tourbillon.
Datograph,
Datograph tourbillon.
something, yeah.
Yeah.
That one's a cool
They
one
had that
too.
like huge. They had this like huge representation of it at Watches and Wonders, where like every so often it would like go
Oh, I saw
dark and
photos,
like
yeah.
it was really cool. So that's another cool one that
Yeah.
came out this year.
Super complicated.
Yeah, super complicated and super expensive. So, all right, Microbrand watch. So Microbrand watch.
Okay. I want to start.
Go.
Okay. Oh, Derek's been learning about Microbrands.
I've been learning,
recently.
thanks to you guys actually, because I didn't really know much about microbrands. But this one is the Anoma.
Oh, I was gonna say, if Ren is not both of your pick, we're not friends anymore. This podcast is done.
We mentioned Ren and Diver. Maybe we mentioned it under 1,000. Now we got to give you microbrand.
Now I'm threatening you.
Most complicated Ren as well.
Yeah. It's the
No.
most complicated Ren. We should have a category. Most
Exactly.
complicated Ren.
No, the Anoma is really cool. I don't even know
The
what
A1.
the A1.
Yeah, they're
A1
really
sauce Anoma.
Literally, barbecue.
That one's really cool because
I just got that.
it's like a cushiony triangle on the wrist.
Yeah.
You know?
Another one of
And-
these different case.
And then when
that's
you
not
look at the
circular.
time, the case and then the way the dial is framed is different.
Yeah.
So like it is actually like when you look at the time, it's very interesting.
Also, when
Very
you
cool
see
on
it
the
in
wrist.
person, like depending on the angle, the dial can look like very, very blue or almost black.
Yeah.
So it's really like interesting from different angles. That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a great one.
Yeah.
I just thought of it right now actually. I didn't
Oh.
I didn't have an answer
It
because
just
we kind of
came to
mentioned
you.
it.
It was
yeah.
divine intervention.
I
Yeah.
personally want one, and that doesn't
Yeah, that's what I was
often
thinking too. I
happen
was
for that
like-
kind of watch.
Did you see the one they did for Time for Art? So with the black dial, I was talking to Matteo, who's the founder of Anoma, and when he created, he was showing it to me before they launched
Yeah.
it, like the dial, and he was like,
Yeah, that one's cool.
he was like, it's like this black dial that's kind of like raised and like has this like not a guilloche, like a guilloche type pattern
Yeah.
kind of. And he was like, yeah, when we came up with this, he was like, I was so annoyed that I made this one for Time for Art, so it's like a one of one piece. He's
Yeah,
like,
you're not
I
allowed to
wish-
recreate it.
He's like, I can't
Shit.
recreate it now.
Ah, that's
And he was like, but it like came out so well.
Yeah.
That one's good. What did you pick?
I picked the Echo Neutra Rivenera.
Yeah, you were
Another
a big proponent of
Big
that.
proponent of that watch. I just like the contrast between it being a dress watch, but it's also grade 5 titanium, and it's manual wound. It's like all these. It's just something about like the juxtaposition of those things was so cool to me, and it's a very comfortable watch. And I'm glad that they got a lot of show, especially at Wind Up New York City.
Nice.
I feel like they launched and it was popular, but then once they went to Wind Up and everybody saw it, I think people went nuts for it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And yeah, for a good reason.
So I picked the Space One Tellurium,
Yep.
which is just like, I just love seeing kind of smaller brands, micro brands doing kind of like innovative things, doing complications. I think one of the great things about the kind of more readily available movements is that now smaller brands, like you see this with what's that brand? Not the Pancel, the one with that looks kind of like this.
Amita.
The Digitrend.
Yep.
Like brands like putting and then with the Belcanto, you see brands putting kind of modules onto movements and creating these different complications. So the Space One Tellurium has the kind of like vertically asymmetrical movement that looks kind of like a spaceship,
Yep.
and it has the complication is the sun and the first, I think, 4 planets or 3 planets orbit.
I don't know the watch well enough.
Have you seen it?
I've seen it, yeah, but I just don't remember.
Yeah,
exactly
it's
how it
super
goes.
cool. I'll show it to you. And they just released 2 new versions where,
Oh, whoa. I have not seen this.
yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it has like the planets orbiting the sun at the same rate that they orbit in
Real time?
In real time. It's
Oh.
not all the
That
planets.
sounds like the
think it's the
equation of time kind
Yeah.
of movement.
Yep. This is the Rivenera, Derek, if you haven't seen
So it has
Oh, I saw that
okay.
online.
So it has the
Yeah.
Earth and the Moon like orbiting the sun at the rate that it orbits in real time.
That's crazy.
Sick.
Like faster, but like the same. I guess
So
the same.
does it measure like atomic time plus that time, like 2 different times, or only?
So it has. So
equation?
right here is like obviously the like time
Oh, okay.
display.
So it does both.
Yeah, and then it has the month, the date.
Hey, how much
Yeah.
does that go for?
That's like 3,500, I think. So
Whoa.
and they released 2 new versions. The original version I think was titanium with blue aventurine dial, and then they just released a blue titanium with aventurine dial and a black titanium with onyx dial. So those are the
Nice.
2 they just released, I think, last week or something.
Wow.
So I just think it's really cool. You don't see stuff like that's like interesting in like a way that like
Different.
MB&F and some of these other really high end brands to be able to get something like that for
Yeah.
under
Totally.
$4,000 is pretty crazy. I think.
Damn. Yeah. Usually equations of times are like super expensive.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Under like 3K.
Yeah, it's crazy. So okay, microbrands. Nobody picked Ren, so
Honorable mention.
Okay, independent.
I have mine.
I have 2.
I'll go first. I have the Moser cylindrical tourbillon skeleton BWP Alpine. It's a limited edition. It's a limited.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
50
Is that
pieces.
is that the
It's
pink
a
one
crazy.
or the
pink. I'm choosing the pink one.
I like the cylindrical tourbillon.
I'll show you, Derek. It's very cool. So it's the cylindrical tourbillon, but what I like, so they released the blue one that's also limited with BWP Alpine is like the F1 team. And then when I was in Miami, they released the pink version. I think there's only like 50 pieces of it or 25. It's like really limited. Like one of the coolest watches I've ever had on my wrist with the pink sapphire dial at 12.
Yeah.
And the way they do the cylindrical tourbillon is like nothing I've really ever seen.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I love it. Oh, wait, let me pull it up. BWT pink. This is it.
Whoa.
Yeah,
crazy.
I've seen like the other cylindrical tourbillons.
The
and
blue,
those
yeah,
are
yeah,
the
yeah.
blue, like the original. Yeah, they're crazy.
They're nuts. They gave me some time on wrist with it while I was there, and then they made me take it off.
You were like hoping they'd forget about it.
Well, I
and
told
think-
them that this, like in this case,
Yeah.
I said they need to do more with these rubber straps because it was so comfortable.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Yeah, we're looking into it." I'm like, "No, you should be selling the straps. People can interchange."
Yeah.
it." So we'll see. But I thought it was sick, and it's independent. That's the extent of it. And these
Yeah.
are the 2 together, by the way.
Oh yeah.
This is
Oh,
the blue
nice.
and the pink.
I had one and then it slipped my
Want me to go?
mind.
Well,
Yeah, you should go.
Okay, so I was gonna. One of them was Burner on Mirage.
Yeah, that was mine. I was like trying to think of another one.
So then the other one is a Colloquium Project
Okay.
1.
Yeah, we talked about this a few times
Yeah.
on this show since Craig got his this year.
It's on
And
the Delugs strap, guys.
It's on the Delugs.
Delugs is our
Velcro.
sponsor, so
Shout out.
to those guys. And obviously, I've had this on the Delugs strap since I got it. So if anyone wants to see it again,
Perfect for that watch.
Yeah.
yeah. Anyone want to see it again, or no? You guys are
No,
tired of
I
it.
I like seeing it.
It's sick. It's
Paper-
so comfortable.
Paperclip hands is what I call them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's such a great watch, and now they've done 3 versions. They've all sold out in like minutes. Just
Wow.
crazy.
The most shocking part about the watch too is like the dial's so cool, the hands are so cool.
Yeah.
It's the case, the etchings in the case is like.
Yeah. I don't
That
know if
gets
that's
me
the
every
most
time.
cool.
No, for
but
me,
it-
that's what I like the most.
But it
about
is cool.
It's what I like the most. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with this. This is one that I would definitely put on my list of
And-
would buy.
And it's affordable.
How much is it?
3,500,
It's not bad.
3,600.
It's not
Yeah.
I mean, it's not crazy. Like all these independent, what we're seeing with Anoma, with Space One, with Colloquium, with some of these brands are brands that you don't necessarily consider microbrands. You consider more as independent, offering things that are not $50,000 anymore. We saw a lot of that. I mean, Burneron. I mean, obviously we love Burneron, but they're not cheap. They're
No.
I mean, and rightfully so.
So like 70 grand.
They're very expensive, but like. There's a reason for that.
I want to see it again.
But the fact that like this strap would look really good on like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, because it doesn't go.
Yeah.
all the way
Yeah,
through,
yeah.
You can't.
Yeah, but like a variation of that. Yeah.
I have to thank you for introducing me to this watch because I saw it online, but I never saw it in person until you got it. And this is one of the watches that I would definitely buy. Just having it on the wrist every time you bring it over, is awesome. Like, I actually love that there's no logo of the brand on the
Yeah.
dial itself.
Yeah.
It's on the case. And I like that they're just letting the dial and like the special parts of it just speak for itself.
Yeah.
I find that really cool. And
And on the strap.
I like that it's under the radar too. Like you don't have to be into watches and you could see that and be like, that's a sick watch.
It's like an artistic
It's cool.
piece. Yeah, another one that I like is the Alto. Have you seen it?
I don't think so. Real quick, how much water resistance does this have?
I think it's 50 or 100.
See if it says on the back.
It says it can get wet.
I feel like the case looks so sealed.
It does.
If it's 100 meters, that might make like a great go anywhere, do
The
anything.
Alto Art 01.
Damn.
It has a
That's
second
sick.
hand that runs backwards.
Oh, wow.
Only.
So the crown's not screwed.
But it has
on.
a faceted glass.
That's
Sapphire,
interesting.
which is really interesting. Have you seen this one in person? The Alto.
No, I
Art
haven't.
one. It's so cool. But that's like 20-something thousand. So that's another good independent, I
Yeah.
think. I was reminded because the founder of Alto, I guess they're releasing something, just messaged me on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
so I was like, oh yeah, I should mention these guys because I really like that and I've liked that for a while.
I've never heard of them before, actually.
You never
yeah,
heard of them?
I don't really know much about
No.
Alto.
Yeah, they're
either.
cool. So the guy that actually I think designed the Rewind
Yeah.
now works for Alto.
Oh.
And he like went after designing the Rewind too.
Consider me a fan now.
Yeah. So, but they only have the second hands running backwards. Everything
I
else is
see.
running forwards, which is actually probably almost more complicated to do.
This was a hard topic for me to do independence because
Yeah.
my knowledge is very limited, but obviously like the ones we mentioned already were things I was thinking about. Even the Noma, I guess you can kind of, would that mean microbrand or independent? Microbrand because they have one watch only.
Yeah, I mean, you could put there's a lot of crossover. I feel like
Yeah.
depending. I don't know. Like I just sometimes think of
Isn't Ren independent?
we're trying to like. I would say that Ren is more of a micro brand right now.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff that you're gonna see in the future, I'm hoping will be more kind of independent. The way I think of independence versus micro brands are independents are more kind of less like mass market and kind of more appealing to really like collectors, like industry type people. There's
Yeah.
like a group of people that micro brands that sometimes they're more like mainstream. A lot of the watches, though, I think there's starting to be some more crossover between the
Definitely.
Yeah.
and the watch that I'm in the beginning stages of designing with a new designer, I want to be more kind of collector centric and
Yeah.
focused and different. So we'll see how that goes.
Also, by the way, 50 meters. I just checked.
50
okay.
meters.
50
Yeah,
meters.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, but have you getting more like knowledge and like into independence and things like that, has that made you think about like, oh, maybe I can bring some of them into the store? Or...
Definitely. Yeah, for sure. I have interest in doing that. If you have an independent brand, you can reach out to me and see what we can do together. That'd be fun.
Sick.
Yeah, it'd be cool to like if you had like even like just like a rotating where you could like for a certain period of time you could
Yeah.
just showcase different independents.
Yeah. No, I definitely would be down to do that.
I'm not running your business, and
Yeah.
you should do whatever works best for you. But that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree.
You should start with Ren though. No. Okay, what do we have next?
We have a few.
We
We should have a handful or a
One,
few.
2, 3, 4, and then overall.
Okay.
Which-
Yeah,
what's
we got
next?
a few more.
Okay. Go anywhere, do anything.
Alrighty.
This one I struggled with a lot. to get.
Yeah, it's hard because you have to like choose a watch that fits into this category.
Were you raising your hand?
No,
Oh,
stretch.
I thought he was like me first.
I'll
Let's
start.
do it
I'll
over
start
here.
first because I already have my answer. Go anywhere, do anything. It's the Omega Aquaterra Lacquer Black, or they just launched a turquoise, literally
Oh, yeah,
like
that
2
was
days
sick.
ago.
That was sick.
And that was like a quiet release because they didn't even post it on the official
It's the
Omega.
coolest one too.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It looks kind of like the
Actually,
Ren
so
Diver one.
low backstory: when Teddy was in town, him and I were both at this Omega retailer summit, and then I was like super obsessed with the first Omega in space, but he would not put down that Aquaterra turquoise, and he kept talking about it to me. And I'm like, okay, dude, you should just buy it. So wait to see if Teddy ends up picking that up for his collection.
might.
Because he kept talking about it to me, and I was like, yeah, it's cool. And then I was like, when I thought about it more, I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is freaking cool.
Sick.
Because Omega is like all their dials are like lacquer, like teak dial, or they're the shades, but they don't have like a gradient dial in that
Yeah.
collection. So that one looks really cool. I guess a summer blue is more gradient, but
Yeah.
it's a different shade of gradient.
Right.
Yeah. No, that is nice, even though it looks like the Diver one. Right? Sorry.
Should I go next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the. I had one watch, but I'm gonna save it for later. I'm gonna go with the IWC Engineer in the blue.
Oh, the new blue.
The new
Doesn't
blue.
go
Aqua.
anywhere, do anything.
Yeah, no. The
Yeah.
The
new-
Aqua's a year older.
a
The new
year
blue is
older.
like a
Yeah,
week
new
old
blue
or
is
something.
week old. Yeah, I think that every
That's a
time I
good
go
one.
back to that watch and see it in person, it is so good.
It
Yeah.
wears
like
so well.
10 grand. It wears unbelievable. It wears
11.7.
thin.
11.7 actually.
Ben
Oh, it's
always
11.7.
Ben always undershoots.
I know.
No,
He
IWC lowered their prices for
he
like
just-
basically everything except the
Engineer.
Engineer. Yeah.
They're trying to compete with, I think,
International pricing, because
Yes.
USA dollar is so strong.
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
strong. But I think that it's a banger. There's really
Yeah.
like almost
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that watch.
Yeah.
Like, I
And the
can't-
lug to lug is so good.
Slug to lug is so good. It wears well. I'm sure they'll come out with it in like 35 too. And that's going to be a home run as well. They'll come out with it in different materials.
Yeah.
But I think the blue is like the color in my
Maybe a
opinion.
chronograph.
So
A chronograph, yeah.
Adrian Barker, Bark and Jack, did a video on the Engineer. I watched it last night, and
The
he
new
made
one?
yeah, he got hands on with it, and he made a really good point. He's like, on the website they call it the Engineer 40. He's like, that makes it sound like there's gonna be an Engineer 38 or 37 or like
Yep.
different sizes coming. I was like, that's a really good point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Totally.
I would love to see a 37 or 38 or even maybe a 35. I think 37 would be better though.
And the fact that they made that watch, brought it back with the integrated bracelet, like it's just, they're clearly paying attention to the trends.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
definitely going to trend
Yeah.
out and do that.
Yeah.
So I picked, because I'm last, I guess, in this one, the Doxa Sub 200 T,
Okay.
Which one?
the 39 millimeter.
Oh, 39. Nice. Yeah.
So I love like the just the uniqueness of the Doxa Sub 300, but it's just was a little bit too big.
Right.
So the Sub 200T is the first 200 version in 39 millimeters that has the same like design with the kind of oval disc on the bottom of the case.
Right.
And so also it's like less expensive. So being able to get that design,
It's like around $1,000, right?
I think it's a little bit over, maybe like 1,300.
Yeah. I
But,
always
but
undershoot
be able
it.
to get the like that iconic Doxa shape and 39
Right.
millimeters, which is I think a lot more wearable for some people.
Yeah.
To me, it makes it just like a great dive watch and also just a great like everyday wear.
I think divers always make a good go anywhere, do anything watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Great choices, guys.
All right, we're getting to the end now. We're getting
Love it.
close. Okay, skeleton. I have 2.
I have 2 as well.
I got one.
I wonder if we overlap.
I don't think we will. I don't think you guys are
I
gonna have
think
mine.
Ben and I are more likely. To
All right, so
overlap.
you guys go first then.
Want me to go?
Yeah. Go.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go with the first one. It's a personal watch of mine, the Norcane Wildland
Okay,
Skeleton.
nice.
It's like
That
probably
was that was released this year.
the Coral was, yes, the one I have.
Ben's getting into technicality.
Yeah,
The Coral
it is,
Dial was released.
But yeah, I love it. I love the orange, and I love the finishing on the movement for the price is very, very good. I have another one and then an honorable mention. The other one is, have you guys ever seen Whole Thin Riches? Is that how you say that, watches?
I'm not familiar.
I got to show you this.
You're probably just not pronouncing it right. So
Thin Riches.
I just never heard
Hold
it
on,
said.
I'll tell you.
It sounds
ornament.
familiar though.
Yeah, it does.
Once I show you it, you'll be like, "Oh, I know that," but nobody really talks about it. They talk about it in the watch industry, but it's not really known.
No, I don't know.
Ornament Nouveau. I've seen it now for whatever reason.
How much is it?
Twice in person. I have no idea. I've seen
Is
it
it
now
like really
twice.
expensive?
Really expensive.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a crazy skeleton watch. But again, I've been loving cases, and this case is so cool
yeah,
with the
that
crab
case is-
lugs. But
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
it's sick.
Yeah.
It's no other way to put it. Awesome. And then honorable mention, I'm going to go.
How many watches are you picking?
Hey, I've
he's just
done
gonna
one
keep on
every
mentioning.
time.
He's just gonna be mentioning skeleton watches until there's none left for us.
Yeah.
To,
I think you
I'm
guys will
sure
mention
this
mine.
is the one you thought we were going to overlap with, but the Christopher Ward 12X
Yeah.
skeleton
No.
is sick.
that wasn't the one I was.
Oh,
thinking
it wasn't?
about.
No, watch is really cool. For the price, it's the best skeleton you can buy.
The steel or the
The best skeleton you
Titanium.
can buy,
They
really.
just released a limited edition steel
I have
one.
Steel,
Good
I
one.
did see that too. Yeah, I saw the titanium in person, so I can speak to that one.
So okay, I have 2. So first is the Bulgari Octo Finissimo Ultra Kosk, which is
Oh, I
1.7
forgot about
millimeters
that this
thick.
year.
And it was the thinnest watch in the world for a hot sec until Konstantin Chaikin came in out of nowhere and took it away. But
call BS
Kosk
on that.
certified and 1.7 millimeters thick.
Yeah, that's
Insanity.
crazy.
And it's a good looking watch.
Can I call cap on the Constantine Shaken?
Why?
Why?
Call cap. I just
can.
he made the watch, but it was like a prototype.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I feel like it was a little bit like, let's just get out this watch, make it running, and we're gonna release it. But they haven't actually like released the watch. It's just it was a very weird like, let's just send it. I have nothing against him, but I'm like, let's just release it.
He's
and make
like
it
an
thing.
independent watchmaker, much smaller operation. The watch works, and it's cool because you can get there's a separate module that turns it into a self-winding watch.
Yep.
Or you can like wind it with a key, or you can attach it and it gets thicker.
Interesting.
So I just think it's like I think we should be celebrating independence
Totally.
like this, doing innovative stuff, and like how many even there's a lot of prototypes that I think the first Chopard Piaget.
Yeah, it was a
Altiplanos
prototype
were
too.
always like prototypes when they first
Yeah,
started.
I
getting
feel like
into
that
it.
that's something I learned too throughout the years is that every time there's a thinness watch, it's like a prototype because they're able to like get it to a certain stage, but they're not like ready to sell it yet.
Yeah.
Because when you get that thin, the watch needs a lot of servicing
Well,
or something.
Right.
I do think at the beginning, that's true. Like Piaget at the beginning, the Altiplanos, only like the watchmaker was allowed to wear it because it would snap if people were too, rough with it. But as Piaget and Bulgari kind of went back and forth, I think they became more competent. So the
Yeah.
watches they released were no longer prototypes; they were actual production. So Konstantin
I think it
Chaikin.
should be a different category. It's like mass produced, not mass produced, but like, you're making more than 50 a year
Yeah.
versus like, we're just making a watch to make it thin and
said
we
he's
don't
gonna
care
sell
if it lasts on wrist.
He
Yeah.
he said that they're gonna be available to sell.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah.
But I still like the Bulgari.
It's still sick,
And
yeah.
then the other one that I have is the Streamliner Tourbillon Skeleton,
Okay.
Yeah.
which was released at Watches and Wonders, was that yours?
No,
Which is
I have.
Incredible. in person.
incredible watch in
Yeah.
person. I think I like it more than
That rubber one that I showed, the Alpine one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one
I
but
think
they're both great watches.
I think I have the best skeleton for sure. Yeah,
What
that
is
I'm
that?
gonna mention.
Jaeger?
No, this one is the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Jumbo 16204. It's the white gold
Yeah, that
with the
one's sick.
skeleton jumbo.
Not the cause.
This one right here.
Yeah, that one's crazy.
Yeah.
So they discontinued the 16204 in steel, which they came out for the 50th anniversary with like the rose gold indices.
Yeah.
So now this is like the tone on tone skeleton version, and I didn't get to see it in person, but I mean, just from the photos, it's a jumbo case, so it's gonna fit amazingly
Yeah.
well. 39 millimeters. AP does a lot of great work with skeletons and open works in general, and that's definitely like Grail level
Yeah.
watch for me. I think it's like 200 or 300K.
Yeah, I just saw
Sick.
the tone on tone yellow gold 16.
Yeah. I saw you posted that. Yeah,
It's so nice.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't mention that one too, because you saw it in person. The yellow gold.
Is that new though?
This one definitely came out this year.
I don't know if the yellow gold one is this year, but it's so nice. I mean,
Oh yeah, the yellow gold came out last year, but the
Yeah.
white gold came out this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that, yeah, I mean,
and I like white gold
I
medals.
thought you were gonna pick
Definitely.
the cause.
Huh?
The cause.
Oh, the cause? But that's not a skeleton,
Is
is
it?
it?
I guess it's
It's
skeletonized.
It's like skeleton-ish.
ish.
I think it
Yeah,
passes.
it's like an open heart. Not open heart. But you know
Yeah.
what I mean? When it's like an open heart, it's kind of skeleton.
Yeah,
Okay, so skeletons. I think we're getting really.
we're getting close. What's the next one? I think there's like 2 more left.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay.
Maybe
Integrated bracelet. I'm
Okay.
gonna go first on this.
Wait,
Okay,
what's the 2 that are left, by the way?
Integrated bracelet. You can do some research and limited edition.
And then
And
best
then,
overall later.
we'll do the game. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Okay, so I'm gonna go first. The Gerald Charles Masterlink.
That's a great piece.
Genta
Great watch.
inspired.
Oh, it's his name.
It's his name, Gerald Charles Genta. I just like the way it's asymmetrical from top to bottom, but the bracelet follows the kind of like it has a smiley face kind of at the bottom, and the bracelet follows on one side, and then it's straight on the other side. I
Yeah.
just think there's a lot of like interesting details. It fits really well. It's really thin, really well made. It has an interesting, unique way to remove the links so that there's no pins like visible on the outside of the watch.
Yeah.
And it's just super comfortable, and that blue dial is just super nice. I really like it. So Gerald Charles Masterlink.
I thought I saw. This is true. I saw Robert Downey Jr. was wearing a Gerald Charles
really?
skeleton. It was like
Oh,
on the
yeah,
Italian watch
skeletons are really
spotter.
cool.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
really cool. Like he's wearing it, but on the rubber strap, not the integrated bracelet. But I was
Yeah.
like, oh damn! See,
Yeah,
more
sick.
people are starting to know about
Yeah.
the watch.
Oh, yeah.
And they're
Yeah,
big
it
into the
speaks for
tennis thing,
itself.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're big into the tennis thing too. Okay, who's going next?
All right, I'll go next. This one, I feel like we kind of also forget about it because there's only one of them that's made, and it's the Chopard Alpine Eagle with a straw marquetry.
That one's
yeah.
crazy.
The
That's
one that
good.
was made for Time for Art. This one, I mean, when I saw the dial, I was like, that's the best one.
Yep.
No date window. The dial work on this is super cool. The Chopard Alpine Eagle is obviously such an underrated integrated bracelet watch. They did such a great job, and I love this dial they done with it. I wish it wasn't limited edition or like
Yeah.
one-off kind of piece. And I think it went pretty high on the auction. We could put the results up, but it went really high over like what a normal steel Alpine Eagle would go.
I love the Alpine Eagle.
Yeah, same.
I think it's so cool. The skeleton one is a watch that I would own.
Yeah,
it's too
yeah.
expensive for me, but it's sick.
Yeah.
I'm going a completely different budget because a lot of the integrated sports watches I talk about, they were all released within the last couple of years. Actually, the Citizen Super Titanium
Oh yeah, that is.
looks like this.
Yeah,
You
I've
haven't
seen that
it
before. Yeah.
So I had never had
Oh.
experience with
It's
this
like
watch.
really inexpensive.
Yeah, I was at a Red Bar event, and this guy who I've met a bunch of times now was like, "Have you seen this yet?" And I'm like, "I've seen it, but I saw it in pictures." And then later he like gave it to me. He was like, "See it?" And I was like, "Okay." And I was like, "Actually, this is really nice for like this one's on Joma Shop for $350.
Yeah,
Wow.
crazy.
Automatic movement,
Yeah.
like, and it is really nice. It's titanium integrated bracelet. And I can't say enough good things about it.
Yeah.
Definitely a watch you should check out if you're just looking to rip some quick money on cheap.
Rip
How
some-
much? How much does it go
cheap
for?
watch. On Joma Shop, this one was $350. I think they're like $600.
I think they're less than that. I think they're under 500. I thought.
It only shows me Joma Shop ones, which is being annoying when I Google it. That's just kind of how they do it. $500.
Yeah.
625, but they're on sale on Citizen for 500.
Yeah. That's a good deal.
That's
All
not
right.
bad.
The last one. Mm-hmm. Or the last before we do the overall. The limited edition.
Best limited edition. Aren't we doing best collaboration watch too?
Is that this?
I don't have that.
You don't have one?
I kind of did this as a collab.
Okay.
Collab/limited edition.
Okay, yeah. Because I have two
Yeah, mine's a collab.
answers in there. Okay.
Like we have the same.
Who wants to go first?
Ben, take mine.
No, I definitely don't have yours. I'm going with the Zenith Defy Collective Horology.
Oh, great
I didn't
choice.
think I was going to like it. And I was randomly visiting Zenith, and they were like, hey, we're coming out with this in a couple weeks. Do you want to see it? I'm like, sure. I was blown away at the finishing of the watch. I think it's titanium with this really cool hammered finishing all over the watch, and it's completely monochrome. It's kind of like, I think, what Collective Horology does for the most part for their limited editions, because I know you've owned Chronomaster.
Yeah, the C1, the first Zenith they did together.
Yeah.
Which is all like that ghost gray with the white.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're so cool. And this watch just wore really cool, and I could not stop. They had like the black ceramic in that one, and they were like, you can't take this one yet. You can take the black ceramic. And because we were going to a Jets game, and I would not stop talking about it. And I think they probably sold out by now.
I'm sure they
if I
did.
had to guess,
Yeah.
but it is unbelievably cool.
I thought the one you were going to mention was the Bindi version with all the diamond.
Also really cool. I got to
guess.
spend time with
Because
that.
that is like such a baller
Also
watch
sick.
to walk
Yeah.
around with.
Yeah,
That's a cool one.
So I am going with the Studio Underdog Moser Passion for collaboration.
Yes.
I know there was some
Controversial.
controversy
Yeah.
around it, but I think they're both really cool. I think it's really cool to see a collaboration between, a very affordable brand and a more, horology,
for sure.
avant-garde luxury brand. So would I have liked to see some of the Studio Underdogs been available like separately to Studio Underdog collectors? Yes, but I understand what they're doing, and I just think it's cool to see these two brands come together. And I really liked both the Moser and the Moser Perpetual Calendar. It's Perpetual Calendar, right?
Yeah.
And the Studio Underdog Mono Pusher Chronograph, and I just think it's really well done.
That's a really good piece. Big talking point of the year too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For me, one of my favorite limited editions was the Grand Seiko SBGY035. See, it's the only Grand Seiko I mentioned all episodes.
Wow,
there you go.
And this one
Growth.
is the red dial with the manual winding spring drive.
Oh, yeah,
I love that.
that's super nice.
It's funny because like I really love the Santos Dumont Rewind,
Yep.
and then I got my application rejected, and I was like, okay, my backup would be getting this Grand Seiko, the red dial,
Yeah.
and then we only got one in store, and I sold it to one of my really good customers, so I also got rejected on that one. So that's why I got an IWC, and I'm really happy about this. But that one I love because the red dial is like fume style. They've been doing a lot of red this year because it's like Chinese New Year and the dragon theme and everything. But I just like how it has like that kind of swirly brush painting pattern, and then spring drive GMT. So it's like the perfect time only, like most accurate spring drive watch you can get. And then the collaboration watch I want to put out there, Spinnaker and Saikan did the new 50 Phantoms.
Yeah, 50
Sick.
And
Phantom.
someone, I didn't see it in person. No, I saw it in person because someone I know brought it to me in my store and was like, have you seen this? And I was like, now I have. This is so cool.
Yeah.
Because last year's I thought was a little too big. That's why I didn't buy it. But then this year I think it's like 40 or 39 millimeter.
Did you buy it?
I still didn't buy it. But I would buy it. Yeah. That's a cool one too. That's a
think
diver technically. I should have mentioned it earlier.
I think honorable mention to the main Manhattan with IFL watches, the
Sick.
graffiti. That's sick. This is my 3-watch collection from the best watches released in 2024. So first, I'm going with something upscale. It is the Berneron Mirage in Sienna. That's a dress watch. You could probably wear it every day, but I just really love this watch. It's different. It's asymmetrical. It's one of the, I think, might be my overall best watch of the year. So definitely include that. Second, I'm going with something a little bit more out there. It's something that I own. It's the Colloquium Project 1. So I just think at $3,500, it's different. It's super unique. You could wear it every day. It's a little sporty, but like totally out there. Nobody knows what it is. That's number 2. And third is kind of a go anywhere, do anything watch. The Tudor Black Bay 58 GMT Coke. You just need something in your collection that, has a little bit of a complication, but also, you could wear it anywhere. You can beat that watch up, and it looks really good. 39 millimeters. It's perfect. So that's my 3 watch collection from the best watches of 2024.
Those are great choices.
Good. Yeah.
I'm not ready.
I can go. Yeah. This is my 3 watch collection for the best watches of 2024. This is my opinion. First one I'm going to go with is the Black Bay Monochrome. This is a very, quote unquote basic watch, but I think you kind of need that. Go anywhere, do anything. It's not really a watch, especially from Tudor. People actually talk about, more people talk about the red bezel, the Black Bay 54, the Black Bay 58 GMT, especially watches released this year. But I think the Black Bay Monochrome is the perfect watch for somebody getting their first watch around $5,000 and they want something that's going to last them a lifetime and kind of be a go anywhere, do anything. Watch number 2, I am going to go with more of a dressy piece. This is the JLC Reverso Tribute Chronograph. You're kind of getting 2 watches in one. You're getting a chronograph, you're getting a skeleton, you're getting a time-only watch. This is the rose gold version that was released, we're recording this, a couple weeks ago. I love it. I've seen it in person a couple of times. I haven't really seen a response to a watch from JLC like this since I've been in the watch industry. It's truly an incredible watch. It's also like $70,000 or how much it is, but it's great. And then watch number 3, I think this is, in my opinion, one of the best watches of the entire year, which is the IWC Eternal Calendar. So you're getting the complications there. You're getting, every complication you can want up to like whatever it was, 500 years. It's a big watch, but I think between those 3, it's kind of an unbeatable. I don't think you guys can win, but that's what I'm
a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really strong combination. Yeah. Here's my 3 watch collection out of my favorite watches of 2024. I'm going to start off first with the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch in white dial. I talked about this so much this year. I think it's a great chronograph. Obviously, all the history, the size is great for all wrist sizes, the bracelet, yada, yada. Great watch. Number 2, I'm going to go into the dress watch category, the Cartier Santos Dumont Rewind. It has a red carnelian stone dial, platinum case. I love that time goes backwards. It has some of my favorite kind of like Easter eggs of timing with like why clocks go clockwise, as well as the Roman number 4 written on the dial. And number 3, I'm going to go to another heavy hitter. I'm going to choose the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Jumbo Skeleton 16204 in white gold. I think that would be such a cool, badass watch to wear. The 39mm case fits awesome. I love the tone-on-tone look. And it has one of the best integrated bracelets in the whole industry. And that's my 3 watch collection of 2024.
Lovely.
3 very different collections, but I think they're all pretty sick. I think we'd all be happy with any of them.
Totally.
And now, next episode, we're each going to bring those 3 watches. We
purchased.
I have to sell everything I own.
Oh, yeah. If you had to pick your favorite watch from the entirety of 2024, what would you pick?
Okay. I mean, I've talked about this a lot. Burner on Mirage. You guys knew I was going to say that. It's just so different. I've been a fan of the Crash, but this is almost like better than the Crash. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Crash is great, but the asymmetrical dial, asymmetrical case, asymmetrical movement, it just is so nice, and I love it in both the white gold and the rose gold or yellow rose gold, and I think it's the best watch of the year. I thought it should have won GPHG, but, the Eternal Calendar is nice, too.
Yeah. I know what I'm going to choose.
All right, you go for it first.
So I originally didn't like this watch when it was released because it felt to me like, why is everybody freaking out about it? They've already made this watch before, and I've grown to absolutely love it to the point where I would love to own one day, and that is the White Dial Speedmaster. It's probably a lot to do with Derek talking about it all the time, but I didn't see the hype because they've had White Dial Speedmasters, and they actually had one already in the collection. Granted, it was in white gold, but I guess it's more of a silver dial, but same thing. Yeah. But I think that, if you're looking for the best overall watch, price point, look, everything combined, new clasp, I don't think you can beat that watch. I just don't think you can.
You took Derek's.
Yeah, honestly, I agree. I know I already mentioned it so much that I don't want to mention it again here for the best overall. The best overall is going to be a Seiko. No, I'm just kidding. Damn, this is so hard. I basically have to think of what is one watch on this whole list that I would want out of everything right now.
Rewind. You tried to
the Rewind is definitely there. Yeah. I don't know if I should still choose it though.
You can still choose it.
You can choose it for sure.
Choose it.
Yeah, I'm still gonna choose it. I'm still gonna choose my favorite overall watch of 2024 is the Cartier Santos Dumont Rewind. Again, all the stuff, platinum case, the size is amazing, the carnelian stone dial, the fact that it ties into the links of the Santos Dumont Aviator plus how the clock. Plus the whole story about like why watches in time go clockwise and why this one's going counterclockwise. I love that kind of like Easter egg. Plus the Roman 4 that Cartier does on all the watches. Like it has so many things that I love about timekeeping, about watches, and like putting it together into a watch that kind of doesn't make sense. It's kind of why I love it. And it's pretty pricey. It's like $40K. But I don't doubt that it will keep going up in value over time because it's so different than everything else.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite watch of 2024.
What's your favorite watch of 2024? Did we have it on our list? Was it something we didn't even think about? Let us know in the comments. Who do you think picked the best?
Yeah.
Yeah. Me
Between
for
us
sure.
three. And,
Me for sure.
and wishing everybody a happy holidays. Wishing you guys happy holidays.
Yep.
And everyone that listens and watches happy holidays.
Yeah.
Hope it's an enjoyable.
This was a great year for watches, I must say. Like,
Yeah.
Totally.
just to kind of like close out in this way, there were so many good watches that came out this year, and I really felt like a lot of brands revamped or took time to like, instead of like, like in the past, brands would come out with like 1,000 of the same SKU but different dial and diamonds and this and that, and I feel like this year we're celebrating so much more independence, micro brands, different case shapes, different metals. Like, if I made this video on my own channel, like on YouTube, I wouldn't have this much variety of like what to talk about, and that's why I love that we did it together.
Yeah, we all have.
There's so much to talk about.
We all have
year.
different tastes, and thinking about what you were saying, Derek, at like Watches and Wonders, the kind of general tone was, oh, this is a slow year. There's not much, but now looking back on all
There's
the
been
releases,
so much.
There's been a lot of great releases, and a lot of like as you said, from independents and different brands, and so I think that's great. It ended up being a very good year for watches when maybe people originally around Watches and Wonders were like, oh, there's not been anything exciting. Brands aren't doing that much this year.
Totally. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. And, I definitely think the watch market, it is slowed down, but it's not dead. I mean, there's still a lot of interest around what we do in this industry, and we're going to keep doing what we do. So stay tuned for more content and what we do in 2025.
Yeah, I think we want to thank everyone that listens and watches, and it's been really cool seeing people come to us in person and be like, hey, I love the podcast, to keep doing. So,
it's pretty
thank
crazy.
you all. Right? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, last year was the year of the integrated bracelet. This year I think was the year of the independent.
Yeah, I would agree with
Totally.
that. Like things are just so like one-off or left field kind of pieces.
What is 2025 going to be the year of?
Okay, let's make one prediction for next year.
Oh man. Making big watches great again or something. I don't know, not to bring that, but I could just see that coming back. The year of the loud luxury, maybe.
Okay. Loud luxury.
Yeah, I think complications by independents and microbrands. We're starting to see it, as we talked about, like modules on top of movements and stuff like that. So I'm hoping to see more of that, and I think it would be great to see like interesting complications come from unexpected places.
I feel like a lot of brands went pretty heavy this year, like all out. Whether it was because of Year of the Dragon or the fact that they had so many like heritage cool releases coming this year. So my gut feeling is that next year is going to be a little bit more safe for the major brands. I don't know about independents and micro brands. I think they can still do whatever they want, but for the big brands, they're probably going to play a little bit more safe this coming year and just release new dial colors. That's not what I want to see, but that's my gut feeling of how it'll go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let us know your predictions below.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next year.